Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me yet, I am Joy, and my purpose in life is to spread joy while I help myself and others thrive. And I am delighted that you are here, and I am delighted to today really do a live clearing with all of us on that number one block that is holding us back from speaking our truth, from owning our own power, and really standing up and speaking out in those matters that matter most. So I have noticed not only in our own community, but also amongst my own friends within myself, that so many of us have issues around really being able to speak out compassionately for standing up. We're so scared of being judged. We're so worried about what others may think of us. And we're also often worried about how much trouble we'd cause by speaking out, by saying no, by saying enough's enough. And yet we all know, I believe, that right now is one of the most crucial times in history where it's especially important that us women stand up and really stand up for what we believe is right. And we have to, in this time especially, be very wise in how we do that, because it's not so much about being right the whole time. It's about being wise in our actions and knowing when is that time when we have to speak out, when we have to say something that will potentially, upset someone, maybe even make someone else not want to be with us, maybe even reject us, because we know we're not doing it just out of an ego-driven sense of self, but because we are seeing that there's injustice being done, that we see, hey, we need to speak out to make something better. So I believe this is a really important time that we're all going through right now. It's challenging and it's really exciting because it's bringing up a lot of old issues. And these old issues were all of us not really aware of where they really come from. So the purpose of this session today is to really dive into why we are feeling this way. Where is this sabotage coming from? And then when we've got a bit of foundation, and I promise I'll keep it as short and snappy as possible, we're then going to go into a live clearing where you can decide to set the intention to clear your most prominent block. That experience usually in the past, that moment when you for some reason decided to shut down rather than stand up. Okay? So bear with me for, let's say, a few more minutes while we go into where this is coming from. So from my experience from really working with thousands of people for now decades, I have seen not only in my work as a psychologist, but also as a trainer and speaker and coach with so many amazing people that I have helped to really dive into that sense of true power within them. I have seen that the traumas usually come from three areas. One is an experience in our past, something usually that happens before the age of 7, because that's just when our brains are most open, when we are most susceptible for programming from the outside. Let's just call it that. Our mind is wide open and we take in everything that we experience, especially the truths our peers, our parents, people at school speak to us. We take it in as the truth. And we form beliefs around ourselves that make us behave and react to life in a certain way, okay? So this is one area where trauma can come from. It's just the dramas and traumas of life. And because it gets stored in our subconscious mind, we just don't consciously know about that. So you don't need to today know where your traumas are coming from, because you're going to use the power of your mind by setting your intention in a very special way that I will show you, that you can really zero in on that very first time where you created a limiting pattern, a habit, a behavior that is now stopping you from actually owning your truth and speaking up in a good way, in a compassionate way, okay? Because we want to remember that the reason why we're in for this whole game is to do good. We want to be a force for the good. We don't want to be a force for more anger and more hate on this planet. We need to own that power within us so we can actually be our most joyful selves. Okay, cool. So that first area from our past experiences in this life is one area of where we can have stored trauma. Okay, that's one of the root causes. Another channel of root causes is that what we have experienced in what we call past lives. So you don't have to believe in past lives, but just know that you are more than your human body. And that spirit that is within you, that part of you that chose to reincarnate in this body that you call yourself right now, has been around for way longer than you know. So in that experience that you call lifetimes, you have also had traumas and dramas that have been stored in your DNA. Now, you don't need to believe this. You can look this up. Epigenetics is actually proving this, that our DNA stores and carries over so much more than just the structures of our molecules and the way that our body reacts to things. Also, emotional traumas and dramas and conditioning can be stored in our DNA. So that is another area we can pick up stuff. Okay, you might be thinking now, oh my God, all this stuff I might have picked up. Yeah, but bear with me. The good news is you can do something about it, and we're going to do it together. Okay, so stay with me. And let's get to the last area of where trauma can come from. And that is the inherited trauma from your ancestors. Now think about it. In every even basic genetics class, you will learn that your DNA is formed from not only your mother's side, but also your father's side and all the generations that came before them. And genetics is a fascinating science I love diving into in my free time, because it teaches us so much about what makes us behave and do things the way we do them in this lifetime. Okay? So knowing that we are possibly maybe like and forgive this metaphor, a trash can filled with stuff. Actually, we're a divine channel filled with trash, okay? We are a divine channel possibly filled with some trash that is not helping us move on to the next level of our frequency, of our joy in life, of what we actually want. So when we can agree upon that we've got stuff in us, blocks that we want to let go of, let's get clearing that. Because once we clear that initial trauma, and you don't even need to know what it is, but you will be guided there, you can allow that divine spirit, that source that created you, whatever label you want to give that is much greater than you are, that loving energy, you can give that loving energy a chance to truly flow through your body, experience it in your mind in this short meditation we're going to be doing, and actually let go of that trauma, let go of that drama, and reprogram your DNA. Now, I know this sounds fancy, but you are literally going to be doing that. Reprogram your DNA and the structure in your brain, the way that your brain reacts, into a more powerful way, so that you can make wise choices. Because will we have challenges on our path? Of course we will. But when we are able to, in those challenging moments, make that quick decision, is this something I need to speak out to? And if it is, how do I speak out to it? I want to speak out to the matter in my most powerful and compassionate and loving way, right? I don't want to be coming from anger and emotion. So I will share a number one trick that I use to step out of the drama in everyday life, so I can day by day, bit by bit, train my brain also after this meditation to keep going and to install a powerful, I call it a program in my brain, because that's what we're doing. We're training our own brains to react, and that means to have a habit to come from a more powerful place. Because where we want to come from in life is our hearts, right? That's where we're connected. That's when we make loving and wise choices. Is the heart courageous? Yes, very. Love often has to be incredibly courageous. And we all have that courage in us. So when we get rid of the mental block, we're actually able to access that power within us. Okay, so that's the deal for what we're going to do now. I see we have a wonderful crowd of beautiful souls here. And without further ado, let's get going. So get into a comfortable position and start taking a deep breath in and out. Let's do that again. Take another deep breath in. Hold your breath. And exhale with a sigh. You can close your eyes now. There's nothing to see. And if you've just joined this call, just tune in. Take another deep breath in and exhale. Very good. And now, while you keep your eyes closed, roll them up as if you're looking through the crown of your head. And then with your eyes rolled up, say, even if I don't know how, to now clear that initial moment, that root cause for the most prominent block within me. If that was too long for you, don't worry, I'm saying it for you. Keep your eyes rolled up and say, even if I don't know how to do this, all I do know is that I am doing this now and I am fulfilled. I delete all parts of me in my conscious and subconscious mind, any sabotage that could be holding me back from speaking my truth and making wise and loving choices. Keep your eyes rolled up and then say, and I retrain all parts of me to be 100% aligned with my highest self, my heart, and the power of having the ability to speak my truth in the moments when it matters most. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now relax your eyes, keep your eyes closed, and just focus on your breath while you allow my voice to take you on a journey. And if you're listening to this with headphones, enjoy that silence. If you're listening to this on your phone and you're in a busy place, just take a moment to consider creating a bubble of silence and love around you, knowing that you are safe. And that now in this moment, you're taking time for yourself to just relax and to focus on my voice and know that every other sound is just helping you relax and heal a part of you that has come up today to be healed so that you can be one again with that true power within you, with that love that you are. So as you listen to my voice, consider relaxing your brain. Consider relaxing your mind and allowing your thoughts to become like the clouds in the sky. And as you do so, you might notice how your body relaxes, how all parts of you suddenly feel so light that you could almost imagine going on a journey just in your mind, a journey on the astral plane. And without even knowing what that is, just imagine that you could fly between the stars. And that as you are flying between the stars, beyond the arc of time, you now have the ability to connect to your highest self and allow your highest self to show you that moment in time without any pain or suffering, just an image, a metaphor, a symbol, a flash of a feeling, some sign for you that you know you are connected to that very first time in your creation that you chose to shut down rather than stand up and speak your truth. And as you just ponder on this thought and wonder how you would do that, know that Spirit is guiding you. And you are now being taken to that moment. And all you need to do right now is just focus on your breath and allow an image of a divine white light, a bright white light, to come in through your crown chakra, flow through your entire body, flow through your brain, flow through your heart, flow through every cell of your body, and allow you to let go of any negative programming, any limiting belief, any toxic emotion, any meaning you gave a moment, a story. And you now simply with your next breath, release that thought. Release that memory, release that imprint in your DNA, and allow that divine light, that loving energy, to retune your frequency to the highest level that is right for you. And then you allow your consciousness to let go of that moment, to travel with this bright white light across the astral plane again, and to re-enter into your body, into your consciousness, into this moment here and now, and to consider how much courage you have shown in the past, in your life, in your lifetimes, and know that every time you had that courage, you tapped into that power of your heart, of listening to your heart. You always rose, you always succeeded, you always learnt, you always grew. And you realize that there's nothing really to be afraid of, because you are united with that powerful, that most powerful force of the universe, and that is love. So I invite you right now to retrain your brain inside of yourself and open your eyes again and come back in the here and now and stay in that beautiful state that you're in. And now simply do this move with me and breathe and align your mind with your heart, align your chakras. And now we're going to say some few powerful incantations, okay? So wherever you are, say this inside of your head or out loud, even better, in a way that you believe yourself. I am love. I am loved. I am loving, and I am lovable. And I know that I deserve to follow my heart's desires, to speak my heart's truth, to stand up for what I believe in, and to have the ability to make wise, heartfelt choices coming from the true power within me, because I am worthy and I deserve it, and I have all the resources to do this now. And take another breath. Breathe it into your heart, breathe it into all cells of your body. Say some other nice things to yourself. Come on. You could even write it in the chat. Say, I am an amazing goddess. I am an amazing creatrix of my life. I am a wonderful being of magic. I am joyful. I am happy. Say good things about yourself. Say, I love myself. Say, maybe I forgive myself for all those times that I mess up. I just let it go. And I reconnect to my true self, because I am love. And I am joy. Now you could say your name. Okay. Take another breath. Really good. Tap yourself on the shoulder. Give yourself a hug. If you have someone near you, you could hug them if that's appropriate. Share some of that love. And also share in the comments. What has that done for you? How do you feel right now, just these few minutes after we started? Has something shifted for you? Because you know, the real key to having a happy and joyful life is being able to change your state every single time you notice you're no longer feeling joyful, right? And I know that sounds so hard to do, but it's not really, because it's just a habit. It's a habit of deciding, okay, 90 seconds. That's what Tony Robbins teaches, 90 seconds. You have 90 seconds to change your state. If you notice you're this grumpy old bitch, which, hey, I know that feeling. I can sometimes wake up and it's, right? I know I have 90 seconds to make a choice. I have 90 seconds to make a choice to feel better. Because if I go through that day feeling, right, it's not going to turn out a good way. So if you do this, and breathe and make this joy move, okay? Let's all make the joy move to anchor this in our system and use it as a pattern interrupt. Now, this is a technique from NLP, but it's a technique that is immensely powerful. But you're doing much more. You're not only doing a pattern interrupt, which gives you that moment to take a breath to make that choice. You're also balancing your chakras. For those of us who are working with energy and know about that, you are, with this move, actually aligning your heart chakra with your crown chakra. And that is a powerful move, because when we're stuck in our heads, Tony says we're dead. If we're stuck in our heads, your heads will drive you crazy, because your mind is constantly chattering, picking up all this information from all over the place. Our brain is a sender and receiver. It's a wonderful thing. It's a tool that we can use, but it's not the voice we want to be listening to. The voice we want to be listening to is the voice of our hearts, true? But that's not always easy, especially not when we're being triggered. So let's remember those painful moments that we have in life. I know that I am most triggered, most likely, like all of us, by those that are closest to me. So those that I admire, those that I love, can hurt me, seemingly, with their words most. And I notice that a huge trigger is if I don't feel heard, if I don't feel understood, if I feel that my word is not being trusted. So I have to make choices to choose my battles wisely. Because if I stand up every time I don't agree with something, will I always be acting from my heart? Most likely not. But when my heart says, hey, Joy, you need to now speak your truth, then I can trust that. And that's training. So if for those of you who would really like to learn how to tune into the wisdom of their hearts, the very first step I would love you to take, and it's free, doesn't cost anything, I'm not selling you anything, is join the Heart Healing Revolution. We created this 5-day program, and 5 days, breathe. It's only 20 minutes a day. Okay. So it's like a lunch break a day. So 5 steps, 20 minutes a day, totally free, an online program where we help you let go of the stuff that you're holding onto in your heart. And guess what? That's pain. Usually it's pain, it's painful memories of moments when we felt we were upset or hurt or disrespected. And we all have that. But when we hold those grudges, those vices in our hearts, and we've blocked ourselves off from the energy of love, we suffer, don't we? So I've developed this very, very simple 5-step program where you can literally learn how to let go and forgive, because I really struggled with that. I had a marriage that lasted 16 years. Not all of them were happy. And I had a lot of forgiving to do when that broke up. Then I've had numerous chances in life to really be trained in forgiveness. So this Heart Healing Revolution is a free program you can sign up to, and it'll kind of get you initiated in the sort of work that we do. And it'll show you how fun spirituality can be, how fun training your brain can be, how easy and joyful it can be to do stuff like talk to your heart, find out what is the wisest choice for me. This stuff maybe sounds woo-woo, foo-foo to some of you, but it's science, and maybe my way of talking is not what connects with you right now. But if you try just a session and see, how do I feel at the beginning, and how do I feel at the end, and how do I feel when I do this? Really 30 days. Try it 30 days. If you do it 90 days, you've made it a habit. If you do it 30 days, you've already created massive change in your life, okay?